Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans for today. Today is Tuesday, August 18th, 2020. My name is Bill Soroka. I'm the founder of NotaryCoach.com and the Sign and Thrive Notary Training Course and Community. I'm here with my incredible co-host, Laura Biewer, founder of CoachMeLaura.com. Laura, how's it going?
Fabulous.
Fabulous?
Always fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Glad to have you here. What are you excited about and what are we giving away today?
So a couple things. One is, I told you I'm reading that big library, so I'm trying to get through those books. But one of them wasn't a book. It's actually something that I downloaded through Hoopla, if you know that, through your library system. And Bob Proctor is the speaker. It's fabulous. And it's called You Were Born Rich. And if you are interested in hitting that 6 figures and above, you might want to be listening to this. Fabulous. Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich. You can check it out at probably your local library. And it's fabulous. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it and just love it. Awesome. The other thing is this Saturday, a reminder, 9 a.m. is our e-meetup. If you haven't registered, notarycoach.com/safe-notary. And we'll be discussing how notaries are continuing to work during the pandemic, what kinds of unique ways, either in tools or process, that they've adjusted in order to keep working. Also, I had an email from somebody to please remind people that if you're in California and your commission expired March 1st through May, I think it's May 7th, they extended your commission till November 3rd, but you must have that emergency order information underneath your stamp. Yeah, it's March 1st through May 7th. The notary commission extended pursuant to Executive Order N as a Nancy-63-20. If you don't have that on there, then they won't recognize that it's still current. You also need to have your bond extended to match that. And if you bought it from the NNA, which is merchant bonding, it's automatically been done for you. So I don't know about other companies. They're probably the same. So make sure those two things, you're using the stamp and you've extended your bond or verified that. And then, and then probably the most interesting thing I saw this week. I get those Google alerts, about different things related to notaries. And the one that I loved was curbside notaries. Now, it puts a new spin on what we might be thinking. This is not at all what we've been doing or people asking us to do. This is in Missouri, and it's for mail-in ballots. And this notary, bless her, she's at this coffee shop, and she, some of these mail-in ballots in some states, they have to be notarized before they can be turned in. And so they're having problems finding notaries. So she sits there all day, and she will, if you bring in your mail-in ballot before you drop it in, and she will notarize it. And it's called curbside notary service. So if you're in a state that requires your mail-in ballot to be notarized before you can turn it in and mail it, here's a way to provide some community service. I thought it was just a wonderful idea. I loved it. And it put a positive spin on curbside notary. So there you go.
I love it. I actually really love that. And I love that she sees the opportunity to both help, maybe grow some business, but you never know who you're going to meet in those situations. So that is a great foot in the door to relationships. Laura, at the end of today's call for everybody, look, guys, we're going to give away some pretty incredible prizes today. Laura, what are you giving away today?
My giveaway today is my live NSA at the table class. And so that means up to 2 hours of time with me. And what I do is I start with, hey, I got the appointment, now what? And I take you through the things that you should have asked on the call when you took the appointment, what you need to talk about with the borrower. We talk about the printing of the documents. I walk you through sample documents and help you practice introducing them, and then the wrap up and what you need to do to get paid. So that's where I stop. So it's just that part of it, intense, 2 hours there, and it can be any state.
That's fantastic. Guys, everybody on this call is eligible to win. You have to be live on the call at the end in order to win, or at least here to register. If you're watching the recording, it doesn't work. This has to be on the call right now and registering for that. All right, and our second amazing co-host, Carol Ray. Carol, are you here?
Hey,
I am.
How's it going, Carol?
It's good. I've changed locations. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not in my dingy office with, paper and stuff behind me on shelves. And I wanted to show you when I get finished talking with you, I want to show you our view from our front window here. It's absolutely beautiful. But yeah, so I've changed locations and I hope I don't lose internet. If I disappear, you'll know why. Can you hear me okay? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, sure can.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
Yep, no problem. Now, Carol, you're giving away something pretty cool today too. What are you giving away at the end of the call?
Well, it's nothing related to Notary, but I mentioned the last time on TNT that my brother, who lived in Bolivia off and on for 19 years solid, and adopted 3 children from an orphanage that he and his new wife ended up running. It's an amazing story. I'm so proud of this little brother that was such a pesky little thing when he was little, because it's an amazing book. And I thought it has nothing to do with Notary. I saw last week that a lot of people do love to read, and it's a great book. I'm going to give away 3 of them today. They'll be shipped. I think I'll really enjoy laugh, and I've been laughing and crying my way through it. So, and my internet is unstable. If you can still hear me, I hope.
No problem. I think that's great, and thank you very much.
Now you're going to ask me what I'm excited about, right?
Yes. What are you excited about, Carol Ray?
Oh my gosh. First of all, I'm excited because Matt Miller there and I are going to do a video in just a little while here. And we're going to get this thing all about what's going on with the California legislature right now that's going to directly affect independent notaries and other, non-occupational occupations all over the country. People don't realize somebody in Missouri is going to eventually be affected by this horrific law that's before the Senate now. But we're going to do this video, and it's going to go out to everyone on our database, and we'll figure out other places. I'll send it to Laura, to Bill, everything, because we want to get this across the country. We've got, I think almost 8,000 in our database from students from the beginning, and we're going to send it to everybody. We want everybody to be with the understanding that this could happen to you. So that's one thing. And I announced that we had gone a week ago Saturday. Everything is automated now, so that when students sign up, if it's in the middle of the night, it's okay. They get immediate receipts, immediate welcome letters, so that they can get in there right away. They don't have to wait for Barbara to get everything together and send out stuff. When they pass their exam, which has changed for us completely, we're doing quizzes at the end. We've combined all the courses into one, and people are loving it. They're just loving it, and they're learning from it, because it makes them have to go through things like twice, but they're passing with that 90% required, and they're loving the whole thing. The new website, Barbara did a new website for graduates, and I'm just so excited about it. It takes us into that world of being able to do so much more for each student individually, the mentoring and everything. And now I'm relegated to do that. My angels, these seeds of mine, have grown up to be terrific young women who are taking over. They're doing just great, and I'm very proud, very happy to announce that. So that's all. Having said that, I'm going to turn my laptop around just for a minute so you can see what we look out at every day. So if that's okay. Hold on
Yeah.
a minute.
I've
Can
been
you
to your
guys
house
see
before, Carol, and I love that.
Can you see it? Can you see it, Bill?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay, cool.
Okay, kind of. It's a little fuzzy, but yeah, we got the
Oh,
palm trees
okay.
and beauty. Yeah,
All
love it.
right. So if I lose you guys, it's because of my internet. It's really bad here in California. Just hi to everybody and I'll be quiet.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Carol. And let me just see where you are here. There we go. Okay, guys, and I'm just going to jump in here too because I am pretty excited about a couple things, but I want to make sure that we get enough time to answer questions. So first thing I'm super excited about, as you can see, the treatment I've been doing for the actinic keratosis, which is that precursor to skin cancer sometimes, has been working incredibly. And today should be the last day that I have to do this treatment. So thank you for all of the kind words and support through this. It has been not as painful as they thought, but well worth it to catch this and nip it in the bud. So I just another PSA, guys, make sure that if you are at high risk for skin cancer, meaning you're fair skinned, green or blue eyes, redheaded, if you've had severe sunburns in your youth, that puts you at high risk. Be sure to get your annual skin check and catch this stuff in advance. Okay, I'm also super excited because I've been talking about this amazing SEO course that we are going to, that we've been building. Really, technically, it's been a couple years now, but we finally got it all done. And we're going to release it with a webinar on the 11 biggest mistakes that notaries make on their websites and how to avoid them. So you're going to get training on how to avoid these major mistakes on your website. Plus, we're going to unveil our SEO course. If you'd like to get registered for that, it is SEO. Sorry, Liliana. Search engine optimization is what we're talking about. Whoops. I messaged privately. Sorry, guys. There. That's how you register for this totally free training webinar. It's going to be on August 29th in the morning. Feel free to register. All are welcome. Like I said, it's going to be a training, and then we'll unveil the SEO course at the end of that as well. Okay, and then also today I'm going to be giving away, you know, in the spirit of reading and learning, which I love this entire community for. I mean, I feel like I'm geeking out every week with like-minded people. I'm going to, what occurred to me is that in a couple of weeks, we have a 3-day weekend for Labor Day weekend. And many of us are stuck anyway at home in a pandemic. So why not do some more reading? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give away one of these incredible insights bundles from the National Notary Association, as well as the NSA Success and Growth Bundle from the NNA. You can see this one's worth $72. This one's worth $35. It includes Sign and Thrive. It includes some other incredible resources for mobile notaries and loan signing agents too. So that's what I'm going to give away today at the end of the call. If you're just listening and you don't have access to the chat window, it's just www.notarycoach.com/prize. And that is how you can register for that today. And I'll keep posting it in the link. So without further ado, let's jump in here. We got some hands up already. I'm sure we got great questions. Remember the process for this, guys. When you're called on, unmute yourself. Tell us what state you're in. Ask your question. Try to be as direct as possible. If we need follow-up information, we'll ask you some questions around it. All right, Marcine Hicks, thank you so much for being here. You want to unmute? Tell us what state you're in and ask your question. Marcine, going once. I'll try to unmute you, but it doesn't always work. It's not working. Marcine, are you able to unmute? All right, Marcine, we will come back to you. Janine Jenkins, thanks for being here. You want to unmute? Tell us what state you're in and ask your question. Oh, you know what's going on? I have to give that control. Okay, we're going back to Marcine. Sorry, that was totally my bad.
That is okay.
All right, here we go. Oh, there you go. Marcine, okay, you should be able to unmute now. Let's see here. Yeah. one way or the other here. Hold on, Marcine. Let me try another way. Can you? Try it again, Marcine. Okay. Marcine, I promise we'll come back to you. Linda, or shoot, who was the other one just now? Was it Denise?
Hear me? Hello?
Hi, who is that?
Here's somebody.
That's Janine.
Hey, how are you?
All right. I'm sorry. Hello, everybody. I'm from Daleville, Alabama. I'm also one of Carol Ray's students. I'll give you a call later, Carol. I had a quick question. I noticed that sometimes when I do refinances, I run into documents that will have the borrower's name, and then on the end of their name, it'll say seal. Does that mean that I go ahead and seal that document or no?
Great question, and short answer is no, but Carol, I'm going to let you take this one.
I have this in the course. In fact, I just did a video about it in the library. No, it comes from hundreds of years ago when people used to use like wax seals and stuff. Anytime they applied their signature or seals in China, I know it was wax things, it meant that they were telling the truth. It was like they were swearing under oath, but it was their signature. No, you never do that. The only place you ever place your stamp is on a notarial certificate. And that is where you're notarizing somebody's signature and you're signing it. If you don't apply your seal or your stamp in that area, it is not a legal acknowledgement or jurat. So no, never. And Janine, it's in the Graduates Lab's website in the library now. That's
Great
all.
question. Great question. Super confusing because they use seal for notary seal, and they use it up on the borrower signature sometimes. So great question.
And you don't have to have the word seal or stamp either. I get questions about that. It doesn't say it all the time. It's just a blank place.
Yep, exactly. Great question. All right, Marcine, can we get you yet? No, it doesn't look like it. Linda with a Y, thank you so much for being here. You want to unmute, tell us what state you're in, and ask your question.
Hey, Bill and Carol and Laura, can you hear me?
Sure can. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me. So I'm in Oregon, and this is my question. Yesterday, I had a Japanese signer, and he signed his signature in Japanese. Instead of how it's written out in English at the bottom, he signed it in Japanese. And I said, can you sign it like this? Pointing to, he had his daughter there as interpreter. I said, can you sign it like this in English? And he said, this is my Japanese English signature. What do you do?
Interesting. Laura, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so a couple. One is if they're using a foreign language signature, I ask them to print what that signature represents, you know, print their name next to it so that we know that's what that is. If that's what his signature is, that's what his signature is. I need to see it in a language I can read. And if I can't read that, and that's all he can do, that's going to be a problem. But I heard you say the daughter was an interpreter, and that to me is a bigger problem, is that we can notarize foreign language documents, but we need to be able to communicate directly with our signer, unless you're Arizona, who has a special, you know, rule around that, where they can have interpreters. And I'm not aware of Oregon having that rule that allows for interpreters. Are you aware of it yourself?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
and
so
she was there to explain where he needed to sign and where he needed to initial. And if he had any questions, which he didn't really have any questions, limited English. And so when I left and it looked like chicken scratch because it's done in Japanese, I thought, I bet I'm gonna have to go back and have this signed and have them write it out. But they both did it in the Japanese language form instead of English.
yeah, I think that was a problematic notarization, just starting with the fact that you couldn't really communicate directly. And even though he had limited English, he needed to have enough English that you could direct him what you needed. He needed to be able to talk to you, not through another person.
Okay,
So
so
that was the big problem. Well, he probably needed a notary who could either communicate in his language, probably is what he really needed.
Probably. Yeah.
Rather than you. And again, I would have to look up Oregon statute. I believe you can notarize even if the document was in a foreign language, as long as he could communicate with you. Also, the other issue is, what did he use for his ID? Was it a driver's license or a foreign passport?
He did have a driver's license from Oregon, and she
how
had an
was-
identity.
How was
I'm
his
sorry.
signature on that?
Same chicken scratch.
Okay.
Well, then that's his signature. That's how it is.
Yep.
Okay.
But I would have had an issue before I got to the signature that I couldn't talk to him.
Okay. So what should I do, Laura? Should I call the signing service and let them know before I send it back in?
Oh, you still have it?
I still have it.
Yeah, here's the concern is for any reason this thing gets challenged or it falls apart, he could say, I didn't understand what I was doing. She couldn't talk to me. I didn't know that's what she was certifying. That's what can happen after the fact if the notary and the signer aren't able to communicate with each other. So there's a risk there. So I think I would notify, if somebody hired you to do this, I would notify the hiring company and say, here's what the situation was, here's what I did. And, you know, do you want to have a different notary take care of this? What would you like to do? And don't bear it all on your own. Get that hiring company involved.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, Linda. That's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And it's been a tough week. So might as well bring it on. You're not going to learn unless you jump in the fire. But ooh, I almost got burnt.
Yeah. Well, that's the amazing thing about learning like this too, because you will never, ever run into this again. You'll address it right away. Love it. All right, Karen. Karen looks like from California. How's it going? You want to unmute and ask your question? Karen CA. Karen CA going once. All right, we'll try to come back to you. Apollonia Barksdale. Thank you. Sorry, Apollonia. Karen got it. How's it going, Karen?
I think I raised my hand accidentally, but thanks everybody.
All right, thanks for being here. All right, we'll get you muted again. Oh, there you go. All right, Apollonia, it is your turn. If you would like to unmute and tell us what state you're in.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, Bill, Carol, and Laura. I am from Illinois. I so love y'all. I just have to say that first of all. I love you all, and thank you so much for offering this platform. You all are so amazing. I brag about you all to a lot of my notary friends. So thank you all for offering in your time on this. My question is, today I had a loan modification request that included the co-borrower as deceased on all of the loan documents. I understand what to do with the notarial certificate, but how do you handle when the co-borrower is deceased?
It's an interesting question. So they had a signature line form. Yeah, I'm sorry, Laura, what did you say? Does he have ID?
Yeah. Did he bring his ID?
We're not getting chicken scratch from this one.
Yeah. Well, who wants to take this, Bill?
Well, you want to take it?
I would just say this. We don't notarize for dead people. So that line would just sit there blank. There's nothing I'm going to do with it. I'm going to take care of the guy that's in front of me. His name is the only one that appears in the certificate, and you're good to go.
Perfect.
I'll add something to that. As a retired escrow manager, they have to have an affidavit of death to accompany those documents, and that way that they remove it, it's all taken care of, but that has to be provided, and the title company, I'm sure, probably had that in place already.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Well, and this has happened to me a couple of times, and one time it actually got through, and people didn't realize it. So until I actually called and said, what would you like to see here? They're like, that shouldn't be like that at all. So they actually had to redraw the document. So it gives you an opportunity to have a conversation. You could be a hero in the transaction. It could be exactly as they want it. Other times it was just leave the signature blank. Or I've even had them have to write deceased, even on the deceased line. So however the lender wants it, as long as my notarial certificates are super clear that that person did not appear before me, you've got some flexibility there. All right, cool. Great question. All right, let's see. Denise Jensen, thank you for being here.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
I love this platform. I am learning so much as a new signing agent. Everyone is just so cool. I love it.
Awesome. Good. Well, we're glad you're here.
I'm from California. I did watch Laura's podcast on the Notary Journal. However, I need a really quick review and just a reminder. So I'm now have been able to, I was accepted and approved by a local escrow company. So I'm taking direct signings from them, which I feel very blessed. So when I do a loan signing package, my fee is $150. When I do the breakdown on the notary fee in my journal, how do I break that down?
Laura, I'm going to let you take this one because I know you've mentioned this before in California specifically. How do you handle that? And you're on mute, by the way.
I just want to verify that we are talking California. I missed that.
Northern California, yeah.
Okay, great. So you may not put more than $15 on any single line entry. If I'm taking a flat fee for the whole amount, this is what I personally do because the law does not address how to do that. I put 15, 15, 15, 15 until I don't have any more money. So if I had 10 notarizations, that's 150. That adds up to what I had. What becomes a problem sometimes is when I have many more notarizations, right? Then, maybe I had 15. So the first 10 said 15, and then it was 0, 0, 0, 0 after that. And if it's the other way around, I only had 5 notarizations. I put 15 times the 5, which is $75. And I don't need to do anything else because everything else about my income goes in my Notary Assist or Notary Gadget, whatever you're using. It doesn't need to go in your journal.
Oh, okay. So I just go ahead and, so usually there's about 5 notarizations average per loan package. So that would be each $15, and then whatever's left over, I don't worry about.
Yeah, we're just going to assign that to your travel and printing.
Excellent. What you just said totally answers the question. That clears that up. Thank you very much, Laura. I really appreciate all your experience with you and Carol and Bill both. Thank you.
Right, you're welcome. Thanks for being here, Denise. Diane, Pat, thank you for being here. You want to unmute, tell us what state you're in, and ask your question. Diane, Pat. There you are. Hi, Diane.
Yay, we did it. I'm excited. Thank you so much. Love you guys. I'm going to make it real quick. I literally just got a call to do a power of attorney, to notarize a power of attorney for a document that is going to be needing to be taken to the Egyptian consulate in Los Angeles. The document, they sent me a picture, is totally in their language, including the signature area. I did confirm that the gentleman that will be signing does speak English. And then you actually answered a couple little questions a little bit ago, your first caller, which I was like so excited about that. But my question is, I mean, I know that I'm notarizing his signature, but what I'm seems a little bit daunting to me is when I saw the document and there's not one letter that I recognize. So I just want to make sure that I am clear to notarize his signature, of course, adding all California wording and all that good stuff. Am I right or no?
Laura, what do you say?
Yeah, not a problem. All you look for is completeness, which means blank spaces where it was obvious something's in the middle of a sentence and there's a big line there to make sure there's nothing like that. Use your mandated language certificate only, and your signer needs to speak to you in your language, then you're good to go.
Ooh, I just thought of something. So then I just asked him if he wants a jurat or acknowledgement I can't decide that for him because there's no wording on there about that.
Right.
Okay.
So you can share with him what you can certify. I can make you swear what's in here is true. I can prove it's you. What would you like? And then you give him the appropriate certificate.
Okay. Let me think if there's anything else. As the other caller was mentioning, from the writing, I don't recognize anything. And I assume that's the name that's at the bottom of the document. And, oh, so you told me to have him write it in English. Is that right?
He can sign his name however he signs it. And if it's not legible or you're able to tell what that is, have him put what it is in English.
Okay. And then the fact that it's going to another country, I'm still okay to do that?
We can notarize documents going out of the country as long as we use our own mandated state language.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's a huge help. Okay. Yeah. I just got the call right before you guys went on. I'm like, ooh, they can help me.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Diane.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Tiffany, Nelson, Julian, thanks for being here. You want to unmute?
Hi, how are you doing?
Excellent. How are you doing?
I'm good. So I actually wanted to inform everyone of something. I initially was going to warn everyone about a company that was potentially engaging in fraudulent behavior and using notaries to do it. But as I've been speaking with notaries, it seems that some notaries have already been defrauded and they may not be aware of this. And I did report this company to the FTC. So the company is going by the name Payment Stream Advisors, and they're doing two things with notaries. One of the things that they're doing, and it seems just from the people that I've spoken to, because we're all like new notaries. Everyone that I've spoken to that's kind of, dealt with this company, we're very new. So I'm guessing that they're targeting new notaries. And the first thing they say is, do you have any experience doing annuity signings? If you say no, and this is just from me talking with other notaries, if you say no, they set you up with Google. I don't know what they're exactly saying. I think someone on the call may be able to, give light on what they're telling you. But somehow they are doing something through Google, getting your cooperation so that it appears that they have locations all over the country. But these locations are actually the home addresses of notaries. And on their website, I actually spoke with someone today. She had no idea that on their website, one of their locations is actually her home address. So that's one of the things that they're doing. They're sending, they're saying when you get that Google card, scan us the code. So that way it appears that they have locations all over the place, but these are actually notaries' home addresses, not this actual company. And I don't know if that could get a notary in trouble with Google and they're kind of sending the same form letter because a couple of notaries sent me what they got so we can kind of compare with, they're sending the same correspondence out. And so also with me, what they approached me about is that they asked me if I get a signing for an annuity, if I could give them the information for the signer, forward it to them for a $3,000 to $5,000 finder's fee. And so that was the reason that I reported them to the FTC, because I don't know if that's illegal. I know it's definitely unethical. So it sounds like what they're trying to do is use notaries in two different ways, but mostly I think they're trying to get into this, the same kind of business as JG Wentworth and Peachtree Financial, but they're trying to do it in a shady way.
That's exactly what they're doing. This is super shady, super shady.
And I'll put the address because there's a lot of address. I'll put their web address in the chat because there's a lot of addresses on there. And your address may be on there and you may not even know it. The person that I spoke to, she had no clue that her address was listed as one of their locations. And she said, yeah, I remember, talking to them. But she had been a notary for only 6 months. So it seems like they're targeting new notaries who may not really know.
Perfect. Thank you so much for bringing this up.
I want to raise my hand, Bill.
Yeah, please.
I have a student, his name is John Best, He's been into security his adult life. He's got so much information. And I meant to tell you and Laura this. He sent me like 4 pages of the most valuable information on how to keep all of everything, your computers, your emails, your all of that stuff safe. I'm going to send a copy to you, and I'm going to send a copy to Laura. We're posting this in our library for our graduates, and it's very valuable. So maybe you want to give this to your students and Laura to hers. It's remarkable information. So I just wanted to let you know, and for our graduates, it will be in the library in the next couple of days.
Great, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So Tiffany, thank you so much for bringing this up. Guys, if there's all kinds of little, especially as our industry grows, there's people looking to take advantage of that. What was interesting about what Tiffany sent, forwarded me the email, Tiffany, I think you did, I remember reading this recently. They make it sound like you're just going to be like a referral partner for them. But I encourage you guys to always keep the security of your client's personal information first and foremost. You can't just subvert the systems and send information out to another company who's going to try to pull them away from the company they're already doing business with. So as enticing as a finder's fee might be very, very leery of doing that. Do not participate in that. If you're going to have a referral relationship, it needs to be people that you know, that you trust, and that is being actively looked at. We don't do anything kind of shady and behind the scenes like that. And then Tiffany, if you would post that. I see people looking for the URL.
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now.
Thank you.
The website, because there's a bunch of addresses on there, and I have confirmed that some of them are, and the person that I spoke to here in Illinois, she had no clue her address was even listed on there, but she had interactions with them. So basically they're defrauding Google too, but they're kind of using notaries to do that if the notaries don't have annuity experience. And if you do, then they're like, could you give us information type thing.
Yeah, and to talk a little bit about that too, guys, as you get into Google My Business and SEO, Google does that with the little, the barcode thing, and that's your business personal information. So you never want to give that away. Keep that close into the chest. That is you and your business, and that's how you're going to grow it. But these guys get so crafty these days. Tiffany, thank you so much for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you. I'm glad that they contacted me. It was a reason for that.
Yeah, exactly. You made a huge mistake.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Liliana G, thank you so much for being here. You want to unmute and tell us what state you're in and ask your question.
Good thing. Hi, guys. I am from Florida, and by all means, go ahead and take this heat away. Just take it. I'm done.
I haven't.
I totally understand saying I was done because I'm redheaded too, and no bueno. I have a question. I haven't had experience with it yet, but it's not something that I was able to get an answer from my notary signing course. On the DOT form, the deed of trust, on the last page, after it gives you space for the venue, it asks you to pick a pronoun to circle or line out and initial at the end. And I guess it might not be so complicated except for those instances where you have like gender neutral individuals. Or I remember watching a TNT from earlier where Carol had a signer who she had changed her sex, and luckily she had her old ID, but other than that, it would have been kind of a bit complicated. And for these instances, how would you add a different pronoun for the signers without rendering the document useless and having to retype it? Because it only gives you he, she, and their, or he, she, and they. But what if none of those are applicable? What do you do?
That's a great question. And I'd love to hear, Carol, do you want to go first on this one? I see you smiling and nodding.
Well, yeah, you know, there's so much going on in this country now. And for me, it's a great thing that people can be themselves now and not be, you know, in the closet and all of that kind of stuff. I'm so happy that people can be themselves. And with respect to that, I think that they're going to eventually do, and Laura may have something to say about it. I'm advising my graduates, they don't have to do that. It's not required. And it puts people in an uncomfortable place if you suspect that perhaps the gender isn't proper. I just ignore it. I started doing that several years ago when I was doing signings. I didn't do it. I didn't circle it. So we're updating our courses. Everything is being re-recorded and everything now. And I'm advising my students just not to worry about it. Might want to check with your lenders and see if it's something they require, but that's my advice.
Yeah, it seems like that would be kicking the hornet's nest, if nothing else. So I just wanted to check.
Yeah, so I think that's a good point, and I'm right with Carol. I actually have lenders and closing agents that will send it back if you circle the pronouns on those. It's not designed for that. It's designed to just be all encompassing. So whatever fits into that. There are some exceptions to that that you'll find, but you'll know it when they see it. Sometimes they'll give you specific instructions on that too. Laura, did you have anything that you wanted to kick in on that one, on the pronouns?
I'm in agreement. In California, the law does not address having to modify. We use our state language. If you get another state's language that does that, you know, that has blanks that you're supposed to actually put pronouns in, I go back to my own state language. So if I see that, I just go back to my state acknowledgement, even though I don't have to use my state acknowledgement. I could have used out of state, and I just say, okay, I'm going to use mine because I don't have to identify anything on mine.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yep, great question. Thank you. All right, Leonard, thanks for being here. You want to unmute, tell us what state you're in, and ask your question.
Hi, Bill, Laura, and Carol. I'm in Michigan. Can you hear me?
Yeah, this is great.
So I had the pleasure of doing something I could probably shoot myself in the head for. But anyway, so normally my process is when I'm doing a signing, I tend to make sure that there's no additional conversation going on. I had a signing the other day, which is really like the signing from hell, where the lender was trying to give information about the documents to the client. And what happened in the course of all that is that I was filling out my journal. And when I filled out the journal, I thought that I had them to sign the journal. When I looked at it the other day, I looked back, and normally I'll check it before I leave, but I didn't that day because it was just such an unusual signing. But when I checked it, I found out that the signatures had not been signed. So what I did right now is, of course, I wrote down everything that happened on a separate sheet of paper, and you know, all the conversation that was going on, what room it was in, things of that nature, just to, if anything came up that would joggle my mind, if anything came back, that these signers were with me. So I got the driver's license, I've got all that stuff, but I didn't have them sign the document, the journal.
Laura, what do you say?
So my question in Michigan, so I don't have to go look it up, is are you required to get the signature in your journal in the first place? Or are you doing that as best practice?
Best practice, because we're not required to have journals in Michigan.
So, you know, I would make a note in the journal that, you know, here's what happened that distracted me from getting it, and I'd move on because it wasn't a requirement. You didn't break any laws.
Good deal. Okay, and then real quick, Laura, the question I have for you was, you talked about interpreters earlier. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing a signing for someone who is deaf, mm-hmm. Now that's a difference of an interpreter. Is that okay by any? No?
Same thing. If they need an interpreter to sign language, that's a foreign language to you.
Okay, right.
So it would be considered the same situation, that they should use a notary who can handle that, unless in your state they make allowance for that. And again, I'd have to look up your state to see if they make allowance for that. But foreign language includes any language you don't speak.
So the bottom line is just make sure whoever the signer is, that you guys can connect and talk one-on-one or face-to-face, whatever.
And you know, it's okay for them to have somebody there to talk to. They need to be able to speak enough with me directly that I can give my directions, that my directions are not interpreted. That when I say I need your driver's license, they're not looking to somebody else to see what I said. When I give an oath, that they're not looking to somebody else. So the interactions for my notarized documents, they need to be able to communicate with me directly. Now, if they're getting some explanation about their documents from somebody else, I don't have an issue with that, as long as it's not my stuff. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Great question. All right, Nadia, thanks for being here. You want to unmute, share your state, and ask your question.
Oh, hi guys. Bill, you remember my name. I told you you would. I wasn't going to ask a question this time. Haha, I'm sure I'll have lots next week. But I did want to add to what Laura said in the beginning. If your commission expired, then you have to make a note that it was due to COVID. It's the same thing for people with expired licenses. And I had an experience on Saturday where somebody did have an expired license, and in our notes in our journal, if you do have to, in your state have to record in your journal that you put down, you accepted the expired license due to the fact of COVID. But there is I took a picture of it. It says that the notary public annotate in their journal the expired driver license or identification card was accepted due to Executive Order N6320. So for newbies, it's under the Secretary of State website. They need to go look that up. It's there. So yeah, just so that you don't look dumb when you're over at I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's the same thing for loan signings, but this is for just notarial acts too in general.
Well, anything that goes in your journal.
Right.
For like loan signings or general notary work, right?
Right.
So, and it's important to note too. So yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, that was it. Like I said, if you are required to write in your journal, because I guess some states don't require that you have a journal for.
Right, and some states have different codes and different rules and stuff too. So that's strictly California. Laura, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that was California in particular, but other states have also done extensions, and it's state specific. But I want to address California. First of all, we're past that date of extension for IDs completely. So IDs are not extended anymore. Number two, driver's licenses are only still extended if you're 70 or older, you got a year extension. If you are under 70, it's also expired, and that rule no longer applies to us in California. If you're under 70, it's expired. That's it.
Oh, okay.
No more extension. There was an end date of July 26th for that.
Oh.
You got to be 70 or older, and it has to be the driver's license, not the ID. So I just want to clarify that, because it's important if we're going to share information that people get exactly what's happening, because those executive orders keep changing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They were older, so I was able to take their driver license, but I didn't know that. Yeah, for anyone under, that's right. It doesn't apply. Thank you for correcting me.
No problem. We got a lot of people on the call, so I don't want anybody to walk away.
Yeah.
And if you're in a different state, if you're in a state not California, you need to check your executive order, because there's about a dozen states that did do that, but they have also expired, many of them.
So if you accidentally added to the fire name,
Okay.
Hey, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, let me try to get to it. Yeah. There she goes. Sorry. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Nadia.
Bye, guys.
Guys, remember, if you have any questions, remember what your resources are. These executive orders are confusing to everybody, but you go straight to the horse's mouth. Go straight to your Secretary of State and download or read the executive order so you know what you can do and what you can't do. Ultimately, you're the only one that's responsible for that. The hiring company, the signing company, the lender, the closing agent, they're all going to tell you you can do things. Don't worry about it. Everybody does it all the time. The responsibility is on you. So make sure you know what you can and cannot do. All right. Celicia Young Jones, thank you so much for being here. You want to unmute and tell us what's good.
Tuesday afternoon. Great to be here with the TNTs. I just happen to have one of my old Google envelopes here that comes with that. You know, you get your Google thing, you get your code, and that is what Google sends to you to make sure that you're Miss Jones that lives at 123 Main Street. You know,
this is Jim.
That's the whole thing. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Good. Just got your email.
My next question is, this is a Ron question. I just got my Ron, and I have a ton of friends that live down in Mexico, and my sister lives there as well. And so I wanted to, you know, use my Ron down there. One of the questions, because the consulate is closed due to COVID-19. I've been told that we can only use the consulate, and they use a 401k institution, cannot be used out of the country. So I'm getting mixed questions of, are we allowed to use Ron for everything? And, you know, are we not allowed to use it from, does, I mean, what is the thing about where are we allowed to use it? I mean, she used to work for Kaiser Permanente, and she needs to get a 401k signed so that she can get some, some funds dispersed.
So exactly what's your question, Celicia? Like, what can you, in Florida, what can you use Ron for? What type of documents or?
Well, she needs to get this thing notarized. It's something for her 401k, a spousal agreement, so that Billy and Mary can get some money out of her 401k, and so Billy needs to sign this so she can get some money out of her 401k.
Okay, no problem. So it depends on the state laws, of course, but like I'll just use Texas for example, because I know they can notarize anybody in the world as long as they can pass the credentialing, the KBA, the knowledge assessment. And I think in Florida you guys can too.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely, and there's really no limits as long as they can get themselves validated, and it's usually a U.S. citizen requirement. Ron Lev says they do those all day, every day in Florida, so you're good to go.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, great question. Great question. Great opportunity, guys. I mean, I know Ron, it's a mixed bag for sure, but the opportunities that it opens up is pretty huge for global notarizations. It's me, Marcy. Hey, Marcy. There you go.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Sure can.
Awesome. I just wanted to say hi. I'm actually dead in the water because my printer broke down, and so I'm not working, and I get to be here. Yay! Finding the win. Okay, so my question is like random, and you guys have probably already answered it, but I don't get to be here very often. So I am about to renew my, it's coming up. It's not here yet, but I'm thinking about it. And I had a question, renew my commission. So I had a question about ink colors. In Arizona, we can have different colors ink for our stamps. We can have dark purple, dark green, dark brown, we can have blue and black. And, like that's awesome, and yay, I love color, but do any of the lenders have a problem with the different colored ink? I mean, because they make us sign in blue all the time. So is there an issue there ever? I mean, because if I want to get colorful, I don't want to hurt myself later.
Great question. I'll tell you, a lot of times I've never had a lender that has a problem with that, but I have had recording offices have a problem with that. With one in particular, I think it was purple. They just said if it's not black, it's not getting recorded. So it becomes a little bit of a problem. So I love to mix things up and have a little personality too, but I don't push it with my ink. I use a stamp ink. Laura, what do you think? I saw you unmute and jump in too. What were you going to say?
No, I want to say it's the recorder that causes that issue. It's usually not the lender.
Okay, so black
requires certain colors.
Black is king for stamps.
Black, blue, one of the
I
other.
would say most notary ink, color ink for their stamp is black. Even in states like California, it can be any color. It could be purple, it could be blue, it could be green. It could be any color I want as long as it's photographically reproducible. That's what my notary statutes tell
That's
me.
what the manual says, but I didn't know if,
However, the recorder is the king. And if it's a recordable document, then they can have within their stipulations, it has to be this color. So for instance, you could have more than one stamp and one could be purple and you could use it for everything except recordable documents.
Okay.
Right? So, I mean, that's the thing is sometimes your end user is going to have a different requirement than what notary law is. And that's why it's so important to know the expectations beyond our little bubble.
Right? Yeah, thank you. And I haven't actually got to meet you or Carol, so here I am. Hi.
Hello.
I'm getting to your coaching next, Laura, just saying.
Okay. Great.
Okay, that's it. Thanks.
Awesome. And then on that same note, guys, remember, no matter what state you're in, you could get loan documents for any state. So you might run into this too. So that's why it's so important to know what you can and cannot do. All right, Tom from Austin, Texas, thank you for being here. You want to unmute and tell us what state you're in?
Austin, Texas. Hey,
right.
I just want to give you a shout out, Bill. Last week I had mentioned that I got your book and I just finally got it last Thursday and I don't have any questions.
All right, cool.
And if you're all the new people who are out there, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but that was good. The way it was written on how to get from point A to part B to C and whatever, right down the line sequentially, and all the script that was in it is phenomenal, and I just want to thank you for it. That's it, buddy.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. Your kickback's on the way.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. All right, Mary, you are going to be our last question today. Mary Malore, thank you for being here. What's going on? What state you in?
Hi, Bill. I'm in Florida and recuperating from surgery, so I am ready to walk. The pin's out of my leg and I'm out of chronic pain after 4 years. So that's the great news.
Great.
The other thing that came up, thank you, Laura, for the program too. I'm going to get into that next week. This came up and I haven't had a lot of time to think about it. So I thought I'd throw it at you to brainstorm. I have a lady who's in my community who has had her commission. She's just renewed it. She's interested in working with me. And I don't really know what the possibilities are. I have a business, Rotary Notary business, right? Mobile services. Can she be my employee? Can she be an independent contractor and I give her a cut of the signings? And does that make me a signing company? And then do there other things to go along with that that I haven't thought about? Just the beginning stages. I don't, just feedback if you can.
Yes. So yes and yes. There's a couple of different ways to work that. Number one, Mary, it can just be like a referral partnership where you're not available. So you say, hey, I've got another great notary, and you just send business and hopefully it's reciprocal and she sends you business too. And that's great. I think Laura right now works under that business model. Then you can bump that up in a different category. You could become a signing company. So you kind of recruit your own signing agents, you formulate the relationships with Escrow Direct, and you become like a rainmaker. You get the fun job of building those relationships and you farm out some of the work that you can't take, and therefore becoming a signing company. And then you usually do, you would take a portion of that fee and you get to decide what that portion of the fee would be.
Okay.
And then there's a couple different other ways you can do it too. Lots of different ways, actually.
Okay.
The thing is, it's your business, and you always want to make sure that people are, like, I default to the NNA certification because you get a criminal background check. They've got E&O insurance, and you can see it all in one place. You know exactly what they have. So You can do a real quick check on people because that's important. You want to make sure people have that criminal background check, the integrity, a little bit of experience, and all that good stuff in there. And then you can bring people into your organization. You'll probably want to talk to an attorney though, and also get things like NDAs and non-compete clauses, or not necessarily non-compete, but you don't want people poaching your customers. You want all of that contract in place.
Right.
Bill, may I make a comment? This is Carol.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have this question come up so many times with very successful graduates of ours, and they want to start signing services. And the one thing that I tell them is that you better have a lot of money in the bank, because if you don't pay your notaries, you're out of business and you're in debt before you can, whistle hello. We have somebody that I won't mention the name of, very, very successful signing service in Texas, who was top of the chain, 5-star rated, great customer service. And she got stuck with $45,000 worth of title company payments that she never got. They went bankrupt and it ruined her. And after being in your business, you probably know who she was. I'm not going to say. So I tell people, you really need advice. You need to make sure that you've got everything in place. Don't just jump into thinking you can do a signing service. It's a huge responsibility, as you know, Bill, because you have one.
It is. And remember, there's all kinds of different ways to scale. Some people think signing company, it's a multi-million-dollar operation right away. Sometimes I guess it could happen that way, but it's usually just 1 or 2 clients and you're just working, you're growing up. And that's why, there's definitely a way to do this, having lines of credit to help cover the gap, all that good stuff. So Mary, you and I can talk personally one-on-one on that too. I love having those types of coaching calls as well. Just book a call with me and then shoot me a text, because I know I'm booked out pretty far.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, Mary. All right, guys. One last announcement. I'd like to invite Matt Miller. Matt Miller, are you still here? I know you had asked for one last announcement and an update on what's going on in California.
Hey, Bill, thanks for reaching out. Yes, I have a great update to share with California notaries today. The worker classification bill in question, AB 1850, that would have removed the individual worker initiative. And what that means is you would no longer have the ability to classify yourself as independent contractor or employee, and thus would force employers or hiring companies to classify you as employee, has been abandoned and will die in committee as of tonight at midnight. So we've won again, folks. This is just a prime example of how staying informed, speaking out, and taking action can help you secure your future in this profession. And if you like having a say in the future of this profession, then you should definitely join the California League of Independent Notaries. This is what we do. We keep you informed and we lobby for things on your behalf. This was a group effort by notaries and the CLIN and the NNA and many other groups. But again, this is what it takes to secure our future and succeed in this profession. So thanks, Bill, for letting me make that announcement. I'm going to talk to Carol a little bit all about it and the details and why we need to stay on this, because it is expected to be an issue in the future as long as the author is in office, and she is expected to be reelected this fall. So we will be on this again next year in addition to other things. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at info@calnotaries.org. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
So are we still going to meet, Matt?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll see you in a few minutes.
You bet.
All right, guys, let's give away some prizes here. The first thing is, Carol, I think we're giving away 3 of your brother's books. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. So let's see how many people we've got. Guys, that's pretty much the end of the call. Guys, I have posted that link 3,000 times, and I'm posting it 3,001 in the chat window right now. If you haven't registered for those prizes, grab it now. All right, and then that's, let's see. So we're going to raffle off 3 books. Carol, if they win, what should they do?
They can send an email to Notary, the number 2 Pro Team, TEAM, @gmail.com with their phone number, address, name,
So the next three people, notary2proteam@gmail.com. That's how you're going to claim your prize. All right, let's see how many we've got registered here for prizes today. I love how my computer decides to run so slow right at this time every single week. Bear with me one second, guys. Oh, so that's what I was saying, guys. The TNT call is officially over. If you can't hang out, no obligation to do so, of course, but if you want to hang out and see who wins the prizes, that's what we're doing right now. And okay, there we go. Wow, all right. 224 people in line for these three books. This is for Carol's brother's book, number 62. Okay, so the first one, bear with me one second. We're going to get this first winner. All right, Wanda Mora. Wanda Mora, you have won a prize from Carol Ray. Congratulations, Wanda Mora. Next, bear with me one second, number 188.
Woo!
Was that you, Wanda?
Yes, it is.
All
Hi.
right, congrats. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, Janine Jenkins, you are winner number 2. Janine Jenkins, congratulations, winner number 2 for Carol Ray's prize today. All right, next up, number 106. Bear with me, I gotta go backwards. Nadia Mitchell. Nadia Mitchell, you are the third and final winner for Carol Ray's prizes today. Be sure to reach out. The email's in the chat window, notary2proteam@gmail.com. All right, moving on now.
Thank you.
Guys, I am going to raffle off my prizes today first, and then we're going to do Laura's last. So this is what I'm giving away, guys. I'm going to give away one of each. So the first one is going to be the NSA Insights Bundle from the National Notary Association. It includes the Sign and Thrive book. It also includes the NSA Success Handbook. Retail value $75. And let me just jump in here and see where that is here. 229 people. All right. Number 57 is going to be our winner. 57. All right, Bill Resius. So Bill Resius, let me write this down, otherwise I will forget. So Bill Resius, you did win the Insights Bundle from me. If you would please just email me your shipping address to orders@notarycoach.com. I'll get that dropped in the mail to you. The second thing that we're going to raffle off today is the, let me show it here. The next one is the NSA Success Bundle. Whoops, right here. Next, Success and Growth Bundle. This one includes 3 books, including the Loan Document Source Book, Sign and Thrive, and the LSA Success Handbook. Retail value is $72 on that one. All right. Oh, I didn't show it, I guess. There it is. And 231 now for this one. Oh boy, it's on number 183. So bear with me one second. Let me get back up. Shandell Mattia Smith. Chantel Mattia Smith, you have won the Success and Growth bundle from me and the National Notary Association. Just send me an email to orders@notarycoach.com and with your shipping address, and I'll get that dropped in the mail to you right away. All right, guys. Congratulations on that. Now, next awesome prize, last and final prize of the day from Laura Biewer, valued at $147, is one of her LSA one-on-one coaching experiences where she goes through the documents, really the entire process from taking an assignment all the way to the very end. This is, let's see how many people now we have for this, 231, same amount. All right, cool. That's number 209, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Clyde Hepner. Clyde Hepner, congratulations. You have won Laura Biewer's prize today. If you'd like to reach out, Laura, where can Clyde reach you?
Muted. If you would email me at my last name, Biewer at sbcglobal.net. Remind me I'm the winner. You're the winner of the NSA class. And then we'll set up an appointment and I'll get that agenda out to you.
Awesome. All right, guys. First of all, Carol, Laura, thank you so much for being here and doing such good work. I love collaborating with you. I'm so glad we do this every week. And for those of you who are joining us, thank you so much for growing yourself and your business and really committing to making a difference in this industry. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.